class today in a comfortable seat. So, tailbone, wiggle it back. And sometimes when you go to sit, and you kind of have habited that tail under a little bit, you've lost some range of motion even. So I'm a little shorter, so I'm going to use my block because I have to kind of be on my toes to sit back, right? But if I put my block, then it raises the ground for me. Then I'm able to bring my torso towards my thighs and wiggle literally one bottom cheek back, the next bottom cheek back, and then I can feel as I rise the sits bones, those bones that are on each side of our body, in kind of the middle of our bottom, on each side, sit there, okay? Now notice when I'm here, does my rib cage come forward? Sometimes when people find their sits bones, their rib cage comes forward. That takes your head out of being balanced on your spine, right? So, can you take your ribs back? Now, a lot of us maybe haven't had that kind of alignment so that my head can balance on my sits bones in a super long time. So it may be the beginning. I've literally had people that the beginning is, I can't do that. So I say, imagine that. All right? The beginning of movement, where does it start? In your brain. And so if we can begin to feel that release in our ribs, in our head, then the muscles begin to let go of how they've always been. So from this place, feel the soles of your feet on the ground, okay? We're gonna do something called a body scan, and this has to do with the winter practice. Winter is all about going in, going deeper, asking the questions. It's not about building big and creating and all of this. It's literally about hugging in. How am I? How do I feel? Am I tired? Do I need to move? Am I tired? Do I need to nap and rest? Am I tired? Do I need to eat? Am I tired? Do I need to drink? Am I tired? Do I need to do all of those things? Sometimes that's the answer in my world. All right, can you see the question? And then be still and listen for the answer. So as we ground our feet into the ground, can anyone actually feel like that the ground is pushing up just a little bit? And you are gently holding it down from flying up, okay? Notice where your tailbone is. Did it stay behind you? With some of our bodies, our tailbone behind us is going to create some new tensions and some new gripping and feeling different ways, activating maybe muscles in your torso that have not been activated. Can you feel that in your body? So as we hold the ground down, notice, is there a muscle that fires? Do you feel anything happening in your calves, in your thighs? I'm noticing as I'm looking out at class, some people's eyes are closed, some people's eyes are open. Perfect. To note that when we take our eyes and close them, it allows for the input from the visual to be taken away, right? And then you have access to more energy to go inside. So if you're comfortable, try both. Feel. What does it feel like to close? Can I feel my thighs as I press my feet into the ground? Is it the top of my thighs that I feel? Is it the back of my thighs that I feel? Can I still connect and feel my sits bones? Is my head forward of my spine? Can I bring my head so that it balances on my spine? And that might be one that you think about. Maybe it's not accessible today, but you can feel in that thought the head getting closer to sitting on the spine. Where are your shoulders? Where are your hands? Do I feel myself tilted one way or the other? Can I find a balance between my right and left side? And sometimes that requires us to go all the way to one side, all the way to the other side, and then kind of wiggle back and forth till we find the spine long and the head balanced. Now moving up, how's the jaw? Is it clenched? Is it soft? The tongue in your mouth? Your cheeks? Sometimes we are so habited in clenching that we can't even let it completely go. So here's a sweet hack. If you feel your jaw still tight or tensioned, clench tighter, and then on a big exhale, soften it down. You know when you see those movies and there's the skeleton and their little lower jaws just can you feel that in your body? Can you feel that much lag and slag in your jaw joints? And you might be noticing, oh my gosh, I probably never let my jaw joints have a break. Then moving up into your eyes. When I started doing this work, I tend to be super intense as a being, right? And so I was taking a class and someone said, soften your gaze. And this can be done eyes open or closed. Imagine that the gaze that you have, you know, like Superman, and he's like, zoom, right in, right? That's pretty much how I do life a lot. Do you know how much energy that requires from me? A ton. So what if I chose to soften that gaze? Take in the shadows. Take in a larger, vaster feeling and being. So see if you're able to do that. Can you soften the eyes? And when you soften the eyes, how does that affect the brain? Can you soften the brain? So as you sit connected to the soles of your feet, wiggle as much or as little as you need to find the place of less effort. Notice if a habit has come and you've shifted to one side. See if you can bring it back. Is there anything you can do to be right here? Less effort. And not collapse, present. Being held by the muscles and the bones, but less effort. Jaws, eyes, shoulders. I just noticed my shoulders were up near my ears a little bit. Now, invitation from this place to begin to breathe deeper into your body. Can you take your breath past your chest, down into your lower back, and then into your belly as it expands back and forward. And then as it moves up to the ribs and chest. Less effort. This is the winter work. Can the belly expand forward? Can the belly contract in as you breathe out all the air? With this next breath, emphasize the back of your body to move towards the chair first before the belly expands out. Play with that action. So we're inviting the diaphragm to remember that when you inhale, it moves down and expands your body. Keep long sides, stack the bones and the muscles, and as you exhale, contracts, comes back in, hugs, corsets yourself back towards your center. If you don't feel these things, imagine that they are happening in you. That is the first invitation to remember how our bodies work. Take 2 more breaths, really emphasizing the back, then the belly, and then up to the ribs and chest. As you exhale, note if any part of you has gone back to tension or clench. Maybe soften your gaze. Last breath all together. Find your feet. And as you exhale, slide your hands off your legs. Let them come down by your side. Wiggle in your legs. Wiggle in your body. And when you feel wiggled out, pause and ask yourself the question, what did I notice? Like, you would think me encouraging you guys to sit would be easy. Did anyone notice patterns that they were reprogramming? The brain going, that feels interesting. I don't normally do that. I find that sitting in a way where I'm stacked and held, because I don't do it often, really requires thought and energy. So my encouragement this week is to take this practice, this internal scape, does that make sense? And find out where. And the cool part of that practice begins with the habit. And then you ask the question, oh, why am I always leaning towards the right side or the left side? Why does my head tilt this way, this way? And as you begin asking those questions, then you can move into how can I adjust so that I'm being held with the least amount of effort. Notice your rib cage, it's a big one. And that's kind of where we're going to go today, right? As we move, the encouragement is in whatever shape we're in, notice. Whatever it may be. And then feel, is that the most easeful way I can be holding myself? Sound good? All right, slide forward if you need to. Find your feet on the ground. Grab your block. Place your feet a comfortable width and really be on the edge of your seat, okay? Grab your block, squeeze the block. And notice where you feel that in your body. Y'all just say it out loud. Where are you feeling squeezing the block? Inner thighs, okay.
Knees.
Knees. What kind of sensation in your knees?
It's just a pressure.
Okay. Outer hips. Rib. Anybody else? Squeeze harder.
IT bands.
Oh, stretching your IT bands. Yes, you've got a little narrow block. That's probably good. Anyone, can you access your lower abs? Squeeze. Okay, so we're gonna hack that because I see people going, no. Okay, here we go. Take a big, Terry, if you want a bigger block, grab it. Take a big breath in like we just did. Belly, back, everything expands, all right? On your exhale, find length. The top of your head, not your chin, the top of your head is going to get a little closer to the ceiling, okay? Then as you squeeze into that block, okay? Like first, my bottom really wants to squeeze, right? Can you soften your bottom just a little bit? Okay? Now on our inhale, expand. Keep it low, low. And then as you exhale, feel that lower abdominal back area come hug towards your center. Can you access it? Can you feel it? If not, imagine as you hug in, those lower abdominals are holding you. Okay? Now we're gonna stand. I'm gonna turn my chair so that you can see the side of me. Plugged in, long, feet grounded, big toe plugged into the ground. Inner heel plugged into the ground, okay? Squeeze and watch. I'm gonna come forward just a little bit. Some of you might use your chair, perfectly fine. You can grab the back of your chair and give yourself just a little lift. Others might think up. Okay? So the head stays moving towards where you want to go. Not with your chin, with the top of your head. Okay? Take a full big breath into your back and your belly. Expand with your inhale. On your exhale, plug your big toe, inner heel, and find up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Nice. All right. I'm going to encourage you to do that 5 times on your own. Inhale to come down. Keep the connection. Inhale. Use your hands if you need. Exhale. Now remember, when you inhale, you're expanding. Imagine your bottom gets bigger, so you have a bigger target. And then when you exhale, if that doesn't work on one breath, breathe one breath up, one breath down, and just make sure you're rising on your exhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I see some disconnects with the squeeze and up. Now, here's the advanced version. Less effort. How can you use your body? Stacked head, shoulders, jaw, tongue. Do you use the muscles you need? I promise your shoulders coming up to your ears are not going to lift you off your seat. I promise. So, can you keep the back of your neck long? Okay, next layer. When you come up, squeeze, rise, feel this connect. Lower abs, back, all right? When you go down, big inhale. Can you trust that you're going to be there? This might require hands, that you reach back on that drop down, because you might get to that place where you're like, and you just want to plop. Try to lower, lower, lower. And really use your legs. Use the back side of your body. For those of you who are looking for a really good looking tiny butt, here we go. You'll look great this summer. If you've got it in you, try 2 more. Notice what you're efforting. See if you can soften. Okay. And then we're all going to land standing. You can place your block right on your chair. Take a moment to notice. Anybody hot? A little sweaty? Me too. What part of your body do you feel? Your neck. Meaning, so someone said their neck is interesting, right? So I've been sitting and I feel it in my neck. Anyone have thoughts? It's very common, hugely common. Okay? When we sit, watch.
Yeah.
Did you just see? And maybe I drop my shoulders when I sit, when I come up. Totally. So if we can less effort, these are really big muscles, right? I'm not using my neck. Okay? So, as you feel into that, think about your day. Close your eyes if it's comfortable. Think about your day. Get up, breakfast maybe, whatever you do. Think about how many times a day you find yourself sitting and standing and sitting and standing and sitting. If you were to do that consciously in your body, every time you're doing that, you're inviting strength. You're inviting mobility. You're inviting connection, stability. So now, where can that reside inside of you as you leave here today? When I go to sit in my car, when I go and sit in my chair, when I go and sit at the table, at the computer, when I go to my friend's house, wherever it is that I'm doing my life, can I bring in legs, core, massive amounts of core, right? For every time, right? Okay, so grab your block. Last week we did a movement called bubble popping, and we were reaching and popping our bubbles, right? I want to add a layer. When we reach from our body, whether it's our leg or our arm, all right, we can access that strength. Look at my core. You see all the muscles around my core compared to even the muscles around my arm, right? They're much larger, much more capacity. So if I am in my core and I go to reach, and that power comes from the strength of that, moves down as I hug and suck my muscles to my bone and out to the end of my hand, right? I have so much more capacity to even hold my arm up. Like I'm holding my arm up and I'm feeling it here in my body, okay? Play with that action as you connect with your core. Now, reminder, if I'm standing in my feet and I'm tilted to the left and I'm kind of this way and my head's forward, do I have access to my core? I don't have access to that strength. So I would need to find what we did in the chair from the soles of my feet. Notice if you're clenching as you move up to your knees. Can you find that balance, less effort? For some of us, we're in such habit that we tilt one way all the time. So I'm going to have you switch feet back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Plug your big toe in. Plug your inner heel into the ground. Switch, switch, switch. And like, you know one of those little things that then slowly find that's what you want to be. So you're going to slowly find the middle where you can stack head, hips over feet, shoulders over hips. Where's your rib cage? A good check is lower rib cage, lining as close as your body can over your hip points. So if the rib cage is forward of those hip points, last week's class, I noticed I was forward of my hip points and my back had been way more achy than normal. So I left thinking that was my week's assignment. I'm going to line those lower ribs with the rib cage. Okay, from here, find your feet. Can you get taller? Now, access that big breath. Maybe you put your hands on your belly and your back so you can feel it. You know when you breathe into a balloon and you're getting ready to blow it up, it doesn't blow from the top and get bigger, right? You take the air, it moves down, and it expands from the bottom up. Feel that in your body as your hips, pelvis, belly, back, and then ribs and up into the chest. And as you exhale, hug, suck back to center. Notice on your exhale if you're collapsing. Okay? Now, with those principles, here we go. Bubble pop. Goal is to move every part of you. Grab that block, squeeze that block, use the core. Even if you want to give your knees a little flex, so a little bounce, so you can really grab and reach. Feel it from the soles of your feet, up, all the way. Squeeze your block. Can you find the angles? What are your shoulders doing? There's no right or wrongs, you're just noticing. Am I tense? Can I release? How does your shoulder joint move? Does it just go up and down, or can you circle it? One direction, and then circle it the other direction. How does your rib cage move? Can it rotate while my hip moves the other direction? Okay, now grab the block, put it in the other, and move through. Same thing, find your angles, find your joints, wrist, fingers, up. Maybe you begin to watch with your eyes where your hand goes. So if you want to work into that vestibular part of our body, balance, open your eyes and follow that block as it moves. Now give yourself permission to go low and high, and low and high. Tapping into all angles, okay? Now, as we begin to move from hand to hand, invite some play. So, feel free if you want to throw your block up. Throw your block up. Feel free. I mean, sometimes it's just this, guys. Because we haven't done that in a while. What about going behind? What about going between? Maybe do a figure eight. Notice where your shoulders go when you start bending down. Can you keep the back of your neck super long? What about rainbowing? And then the other direction. You can go up and down by bending your knees and dropping your bottom behind you. you've rotated. Anybody watching their block and getting a little dizzy? We'll do this for about another 3 or 4 more breaths.
You must be. You're alive.
Can you find a belly breath here while you're moving? Have you found the toes and the hands moving in opposite directions? All right. Slowly work back to center. Take your block, both hands on either side. Press. Press. Where are your shoulders? Can you, with less effort, press into your block? Can you open your chest so that your shoulder blades slide down your back? Press. Can you elongate the back of your neck? These are just things that we normally pattern. I would say press, and people are going to pull their shoulders up, shorten their neck. So I'm giving the option to remember that we're using our chest muscles here. Our back. Can you have a long spine and your head balanced? How does that feel as the ground holds the top of your head up? Press. We're working strength if anyone's wondering. All right, next invitation. You can stay right here or press. Use your belly all the way up. Press. Rotate down. Circle. Press, 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 press. Push to the side. Can you rotate to the side and your hips stay forward? Oh, that's super hard for us. Ego likes to turn. See if you can just press. Really rotate through your rib cage. And then diagonals. Up and down. Press, press. Feel that through your back. Rotate around. You can even press out. Pull in. Hug those muscles to your bones. Are you still on your feet? All right, bring it back. Press. Then look and place. Come back. I'm going to encourage you to come to the back of your chair, the side of your chair, and just roll forward onto your toes. Roll all the way through your feet, come onto your heels. Okay? Roll forward and all the way back. Okay, now the invitation is find the balance. In yoga, this is called mountain pose. Your feet are connected, your head is balanced. Give a little softness in your knees. Note where your rib cage is. Use the chair if you need to. Okay? When you roll forward, plug your big toe in. Lift a little or maybe a lot. Then slowly drop down, roll back. And if you can, lift your toes. The goal isn't to hang on your heels. It's literally just to feel that balance of lifting your toes. Do that on your own as you come up, plugging the big toe in, big toe in. I see a lot of ankles popping out to the side. Roll into the inner parts of your feet. If you need to grab your block and stick it between your legs, you'll feel that core connect happen as you roll up and roll back. Roll up and roll back. So squeeze. A couple more times. We're working calves, the back side of our body. If you want to add one more layer, you can take your hands behind your head, press the head into the hands, so the head into the hands and the hands into the head. Get a good connect there. Roll up, get taller. If you need your hand right here, you can do the same thing. So press, 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 press. Okay? Now breathe. Inhale, belly expands. I like to call this winter work. It's hard. And then pause. Lengthen the back of your neck. Reach your arms up. Wiggle your fingers. Slowly bring them down. Squeeze the block. Find that length. Now up, reaching diagonal. Okay, tips of your fingers moving out from the core of your body. Get really, really, really big. Okay? Now, I'm going to go behind, turn around so you can see. Take the shoulder blades, plug them in to your back. Did you see that? Okay. Now, with the shoulder blades plugged in, begin to move in a little bit or a lot, keeping the shoulder blades connected. Maybe all the way to the top. Could just be this action, whatever works for you. So feel those shoulder blades plugged into your back. Can you feel them moving? If you can't, imagine that they are moving as you move your arms up and down. 2 more times. Big breath in. Core connect as you exhale. And then let your arms come all the way down and shake it out. If you have a block, remove it. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, find the soles of your feet in the ground. Tap, 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 tap. Now create your own rhythm. All right, see if you can keep the rest of your body balanced and still. I know, Cameron, this is about fun. Actually, this is really hard. Can you just use the feet? Anybody have a fun rhythm? Mine's not finding a pattern, it's just being kind of erratic. Now find a breath. All right, slowly shift left, shift right, shift left. Bend your knee to shift to one side and the other. If you're having a hard time staying in the back of your body, you can always reach back with your hands, pressing the head into the hands. And then you'll find that backside and you're not going to be forward. It helps just keep that alignment so the bones are stacking. Press the head into the hands and the hands into the head. It also opens your chest, which is really good for most of us. All right, the next time you shift, and please know your chair is right there, shift to the left, invitation to really lighten or lift the other leg. Please use your chair. And then shift, do it a couple of times, feel the ground, and then when you get to the right, lift. Can you get taller? Okay, do that on your own. Play with that action. You can begin to lift, move, wiggle. Keep a long spine. Feel into your core. Okay, the next invitation is to breathe. Big belly breath. We'll take 2 more breaths. And anytime you're ready to stop, please feel free to stop, rest, do what you need to do. Have those soft knees. Notice if your eyes are open or closed. If this is hard for you, open your eyes, find somewhere in front of you to gaze, or out directly in front of you, and see if that brings a little bit of ease to the vestibular part of your body. Sorry, I made one adjustment to mama. All right, pause, feel your feet, wiggle and shake it out. Reach high, bend your knees, hinge, reach low, bend your knees, come up, reach high. Bring your hands to your sides, stack your bones, turn your head to the left, far as you can, drop your chin, bring it down in front, chin now to the right. Raise your chin, look as far to the right as you can. Notice if you want to help it with your shoulders. Keep the shoulders square to the front. And then drop down. Bring it right to center. Take 3 full breaths. And as you exhale, ease any tension in your joints, shoulders away from your ears. Soften your gaze, your eyes. Feel into your body. Notice. Last big, long, complete exhale as you hug, corset, suck everything into your center. Then with your eyes open, hands palm to palm over your heart, with a moment of gratitude for showing up, for practicing, for moving your body, for being available, for the accountability of just being here in class. Thank you. Enjoy. If y'all have any thoughts or questions, please ask.